Yo, what's going on everybody, it's Unravel here, back with another video. And in today's video, obviously from the title you can see that today is a meta video. Well, I'm going to be teaching you what the Warzone mobile meta is and what guns are best for both ground loot and loadout weapons. Now do note that if you're a Warzone mobile player, then first off you must know somewhat about the meta, and you must know that there is a certain meta PC and mobile follows. But on to my next point is that PC meta is very different from the mobile meta, mainly because we're about like an update behind and there are some nerfs and buffs which haven't come to mobile. And so some of the guns are better on mobile, whereas they are less better on PC. And so I'll give you a walkthrough of which guns are best. Now, there has been a bunch of misinformation online on YouTube and other, forms of content where CCs have been saying, oh, try this gun, it's the best gun on Warzone Mobile and all, and I'm just trying to clear up the confusion. Those videos are completely wrong. This video will show you the proper meta and where you can find the proper meta, because there are actually websites which do the research and are showing you which the proper meta is. And so let's hop right into it. Now, number one on the list is, well, definitely has to be the Bruen. The Bruen is undoubtedly the number one LMG out in the game right now, and why I say that is mainly due to its absolutely peak long range capabilities. As you can see from my clips, I am knocking people out of the sky, left and right. Even on the ground they can't do much, because, well, it has a fast TTK too, despite being a long range weapon. So long range, medium range, it will shred enemies and end them in a matter of seconds. So you don't need to worry about people just popping up left and right, because you'll be finishing them in under 5 seconds or what. Do note that this is a low recoil weapon, so it'll be easier to aim. Now, the attachments and loadout I use are now up on the screen. This is the one I main with choreo and all. Do note that there are other loadouts which I'll show in a bit. If you want and aren't interested in mine, you can use these, but do stick to the end because I'll show you where I get all these loadouts from. On to weapon number 2, we have the Renetti. The Renetti with the jack conversion kit is basically an SMG, and not just an SMG, not just any SMG, it is the best one, because this bad boy has one of the best time to kills in the entire game on mobile. It has unfortunately been nerfed on PC, which means mobile will also see a nerf coming soon, maybe in the next update or the update after that. This gun shreds people at close range, although I don't prefer it at mid-range. You'll see why in a moment. But definitely use this gun as your main SMG if you want. I'm not a big fan of it. I'd rather use another gun, which I'll show. So here's my loadout. In case you're not fond of my loadout, I'll post a few others too so you can use. And so we're on to weapon number 3. Now we're on to weapon number 3, and weapon number 3 is no other than the HRM. This weapon, this SMG specifically, is probably the holy grail of all weapons. It can kill close range, it can kill mid-range, it has no issues at all. It has extremely fast TTK, although I believe the Renetti beats it in TTK. The Renetti, unfortunately, why I do not prefer it is because it is not viable on mid-range, while instead you can use the HRM, which is viable close and mid-range too, which is a majority of your gunfights, so you don't need to worry about it. Here's the loadout I use. I use actually 2 loadouts. One is paired with my Bruen and one's paired with my SOA Subverter. Both are good. Try them and test it for yourself. This gun has no issues. It has no downfall. It has low recoil, good TTK, and although I did prefer or will put the Renetti above it, it's mainly because the Renetti is still used and has very fast TTK compared to the HRM, but that is only for close range. which is why I prefer the HRM more. I use this gun daily, scrims, tournaments. It is the best. Holy grail, absolutely. And with that, we're on to weapon number 4. Well, welcome to weapon number 4, and it is none other than the SOA Subverter. The SOA Subverter stands currently as the best AR in the whole game. It has officially dethroned the Ram 7, which was previously the best AR. Now, the SOA Subverter is very good at long range and extremely good at mid range. It can beam someone from one tower to the other on downtown. It is absolutely great. But there is a downside to this. And that downside is the fact that this gun isn't really viable close range. So obviously, you only use it mid-range and long range. But in situations where obviously you're just with your one gun, it is not viable. You need to have your SMG on standby. It has a very long drawback time. And so it'll take very long to draw the weapon. And so just stick to your SMG for those situations. Overall, this is still a great gun, but there is downsides to it. So here's my loadout. There are other very great loadouts too. This is the one I use, but do note that with the other loadouts, there is the Jack Blastless optic. Please use another optic for now, because currently the Jack Blastless is absolutely horrendous. There is no reticle on it, and so it's literally just sticking to its name, Blastless. Completely nothing there in the reticle, no reticle. Yeah. So now we're on to our last weapon. Here we go. Now finally we're on to our last weapon. It is the number 5 Ram 7. Now the Ram 7 has previously, before nerf, been exceptionally great. The best gun, no doubt. It was the king of everything, you know, all the ranges too. Close range, mid range, long range. It had very good TTK for all 3 ranges, but unfortunately now I would only suggest it for close and mid range. Long range, no. Mainly because the damage multipliers have decreased, and so it'll take a lot more bullets to be killing someone from a long range, and you must need very good aim for that. And so, well, speaking of aim, it does have very low recoil, so you won't have any issue really aiming with it, but still, it has a downside to it. No doubt, it has still very good close range and medium range TTK, probably one of the fastest for an AR on close range, and so that's the only reason people still stick with it. Although, obviously, for close range, you'd rather just use, you know, SMGs. So, still, for certain situations, this still is key. And so, here's my loadout. Do try it. Here's a few other loadouts, and yeah, that's it for the video. But I will give you a few more guns for ground loot too, which are good. Here we go. The MCW. The MCW is a great replacement for the SOA Subverter, mainly because obviously the SOA isn't as ground loot. Next is for an SMG alternative. You'd be best with going for the WSP Swarm. Good amount of bullets in it. It has a 50 mag. I'm pretty sure you can probably find the ground loot with 100 mag in it. And yeah, it has good recoil too, although there is a little bit, you know, reduction in damage. It still does the work. Both strikers, I'm gonna be honest, are very good. And so yeah. Before I end this video, I just want to say that the lethals and utility I'm using are mainly either throwing knives, semtexes for lethals, and either stun grenades or smokes for utility. That's the end of the video. Make sure to like, subscribe, share it to your friends, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace, guys.